You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Crazy whenever you find a sandwich like that.
It's a good sandwich. Good sandwich.
Well, welcome to Hip and Humble. I'm Aram.
And I'm Mom.
And we want to welcome you to our podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah, we talk about all things antique and collectibles. And today we're going to be talking about
playing cards.
Yeah, we're going to talk about antique playing cards. And they are antiques, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you. They started quite a while ago. But before we get started, we wanted to thank our sponsors. We wanted to thank Hip and Humble Antiques, LLC. We have 2 locations, one in Bethany, Oklahoma at Rink Gallery, and the other in downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia at Oldies But Goodies Antiques.
That's right.
Yep, right there on Caroline Street.
Sometimes I'm there, and if you come down, you can say hi.
Yeah, if you come down, you can meet the star of the show sometimes.
That'd be Aram.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. But
sorry, guys, I keep coughing. We have allergy season.
Yeah, allergies are a mess right now.
Yes.
Yep, and we also want to thank the Going Solo Network for putting us on. That is the WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. We're happy that we're here, and we're happy for all of you listening on this network, and we just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of us. If you like what we're doing, please check us out everywhere. We have our Instagram, hipn.humble, and our Patreon, patreon.com/hipandhumble, and we just want to thank you guys, and we're excited to have you here.
Absolutely.
So, on to the topic of the day.
Okay, bring it on.
All right. So cards actually originated in China. We were talking about that the other day, how so many interesting inventions, and I guess you would say like play things came out of China.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty interesting because it's not a country that has a long history of play.
No, but they do have their huge festivals, you know.
Well, I mean, just historically, they don't.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Historically, they do with their year of the dragon, year of the their year of whatever it is celebrations.
Depends on who's emperor at the time.
This is true too. This is definitely true
Very
too.
True, because sometimes, a lot of times they would actually take the toys away. I'm trying to think which one it was. Sun.
Oh, the Sun Dynasty.
Yeah, and he actually at one point took all the toys. Because they were metal or iron or anything like that to make bullets and whatnot, and basically put people in concentration camps, and they had community food, community dinners and stuff like that. Yeah,
very colorful history. China
has a very colorful history. They are beautiful people, though.
Absolutely.
They really are. They're beautiful people, and I mean the color. When I think of China, I think of the color.
Oh, the country there. Yeah.
I mean
the
just
landscaping.
But their culture,
their
and,
art,
like you said, and the year of the dragon, the year of whatever, are such colorful. All of their celebrations are so colorful.
Absolutely. Well, I would argue to say a lot of Asia is that way. I mean, if you look at India,
sure.
India has the festival of colors where they run around and throw colored dust at each other.
Yeah.
Well,
at least it's not glitter.
Yeah, at least it's not glitter. Although I'm sure it has expanded to glitter nowadays.
Well, it might have, but I don't know.
Speaking of dynasties in China, though, the playing cards actually came out of the Tang dynasty in the 9th century.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I believe you.
Yeah. The first ever record of it, they called it the Leaf Game, and the daughter of Emperor Yizong of Tang,
And we're really sorry if we don't say the names right, because we don't say names right.
Yeah.
We try.
Forgive me for the pronunciation. I don't even know if Tang is actually it might be Tong. It's Tang. I apologize profusely for butchering these names, but I am trying my best, I promise.
He has Oklahoma parents, so everything's going to be a little off.
A little bit of pecan.
Pecan pie.
Got a pecan pie. So I say pecan, I get Tang. So when I see an A, I say A. But anyways,
oh my.
Yeah, the daughter of the Emperor Yizong of Tang.
That's kind of funny.
She got a letter where they referenced the Leaf Game, and the Yezi Jexi was allegedly written by a Tang woman. It received commentary by writers of subsequent dynasties, like the Song dynasty and the Zhou dynasty. They talked about the Leaf Game existing since about the middle of the Tang dynasty. And they associated it with the invention of the development of printed sheets, because China had printed sheets before the Gutenberg press.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they had it as a writing medium. What was funny?
They invented quite a few things.
Oh, absolutely. What was funny too is the Leaf Game was actually it was a card game, but it was a board game, and the leaves were used in conjunction with the board and with dice. So
like dice.
Mm-hmm.
Not real sure why I like them, but I do. I like dice.
Yeah, and apparently it was referred to as the Leaf Game because they were originally leaves of paper out of books. And along with the dice and board game, they were also used as drinking games, alcoholic drinking games. So each of the pages would be representative of a different action or something. You basically like give a drink, take a drink.
So it's like a frat boy game.
It's like a frat boy game, basically. Like card games have always been drinking games.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. From their conception.
Well, now I know who to blame for that.
Yeah.
Or like, was it the drinking bingo game? I think a lot of people played that.
Drinking bingo?
Tuesday night, yeah.
Drinking bingo, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like at the debate, and they're like, oh, if Biden says this, this, and this, take one drink. If Trump says this, and this, take one drink.
Yeah, those are bingo drinking games. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a drinking game with modern playing cards called King's Cup, and King's Cup is basically you have all of the deck and you line it up in a circle around a drink, usually like a beer, so that it has a tab on it. And you pull out the cards. Each one of the cards means something else. Like if you get 4, then you have to touch the floor, and whoever touches the floor last has to take a drink out of their drink. And whenever you're done with that card, you put it underneath the tab of the drink in the middle. And then whoever, people do that, it goes around and around. And whenever the tab pops, you hear the pop of the air, so the tab pops. Whoever puts that card in has to drink that one in the middle. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of drinking games. Up the river, down the river. There's tons. I mean,
why do you know all this? Would you like to explain to myself, your Nana, and everyone else why you know all these games?
I've been researching.
Huh, pumpkin?
I've been researching.
Oh, have you? Okay.
For this.
I see.
Particular podcast.
Yeah, okay. You do know you go to hell for lying, right?
That's not a lie.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just pointing it out for you.
In
case you forgot.
I didn't forget.
Okay.
But anyways.
Hey, you know what? I got to be the mom. That's the way it works.
Yeah, that's fair. The earliest dated instance of games involving cards occurred on the 17th of July in 1294 when Yang Xingzhu and Zheng Pigdog were caught playing cards, and that wood blocks for printing them had been impounded together with the 9 of the actual cards. So what's funny is the history of cards is actually more well recorded because of the bans on cards in multiple countries. So after the Chinese invented the game, it moved to Persia and Arabia, and then to Egypt.
Was it banned there too?
It wasn't banned there initially. They were actually the ones that developed the different suits, because before there weren't suits. There were, but they were actually different. They were called money cards, and they were strings of coins. So there would be like a 9 of coins, nine in strings of coins, and then 9 in myriads or coins or
That's
of strings.
very difficult.
Right. And then whenever it migrated over to Persia and Arabia, they had tons of different patterns, but they started a uniform structure of suits. And every suit contained 12 cards, which is actually different from modern day decks, because obviously modern day decks have 13 cards. And they delineated between the pip cards, which today would be the numbered cards, and the court cards is what they called them. And which would be the royalty, or the king, queens, and jacks.
I like the court cards. I think court cards, that sounds better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's 14. No, there are 13 cards.
I'm not a card player, so.
In a suit. In each suit, there are 13 cards. And if you're playing spades, that's why if you can get 13 books, that's a Boston.
I honestly don't play cards. So.
I love playing cards. I love playing spades. Spades is a fun game for me. Although it's hard to find good spades players.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember playing. I think I played spades with the Cross-White girls, and I was I don't know, gosh, maybe 12, 13 years old, and they taught me to play, and I played the one night with them, and I won so much that they said they wouldn't play with me again, and I've never played since then, so I don't have any idea. I have no clue how to play it anymore.
Yeah, well, so. I never really got into it until I was on the submarine. Because on the submarine, whenever you're off duty and you're not doing anything and you're not qualifying and all that good stuff, people play spades. Or they play spades, or they play, not rummy. I forget the name of the other game, but basically they have this little wooden block, and you have two pieces. I never played it, so I don't remember the name of it. But you use cards, and there's different decks. It's kind of like rummy, but you move a little stick up multiple ways on a board. It's going to kill me that I don't remember the name of
it. That sounds very complicated to me.
It was. I think that's a lot of the reason I didn't play it, is because I'm sure a lot of the card games that get played on submarines are either really complicated or really simple because you have a lot of time to just sit there. So it makes sense that you're doing or playing games that are going to be very thought intensive because you want to actually occupy your time.
I don't know. I remember the boys were little, and I felt really bad. They saved their money. I think they went to a yard sale or something, and they bought this really nice poker playing set with all the chips, and it was this little circle round robin thing, and all of that, and they got it all set up and stuff, and we sat at the table, and we're like, okay, Mom, teach us how to play poker. And we're like, I'm sorry. It's like, what? I don't know how to play poker.
How did you think this was going to go?
It's like, I have no clue how to do this. And they were just looking at me like, are you kidding? It's like, no.
Like, we were counting on you to tell us this. This is why we bought this.
Nope. I said, my level is Go Fish.
Mm-hmm. Go Fish. That's a universally well-known game.
Or War.
War is also really good.
Yeah.
Do you know, and Slapjack?
Slapjack. Yeah, I remember Slapjack. I haven't played that in a long time.
Oh, it hurts your hands.
Yeah.
As you get older and people get stronger, it starts to hurt.
Yeah. 52 card pickup.
Ugh. That's not a game. That's just mean.
Yeah, my dad would do that. He always play 52 card pickup, and he'd throw them. Everyone's like, okay, great.
You play Egyptian Rat Screw.
I don't know that.
Egyptian Rat Screw is really fun. It's kind of like Slapjack, but basically, if you see two cards of the same, you slap the deck and you get the deck. The same concept of Slapjack, where your goal is to pick up the entire deck. So basically, everyone's cards are face down, and you have to flip the card facing away from yourself onto the top of the pile. And if yours say there's a 7 and then like some other card and then another 7, that's a sandwich. You slap that. You can do, there's all kinds of different rules you can put into it. Like you can do top bottom. So like if the bottom card is a 7.
Okay, again, this is getting very hard for me.
Yeah. But anyways.
See, when I want to play a game, it's kind of like when I go to the movies or something. I don't want something I got to put a lot of brain power into.
Yeah.
You know, it's entertainment.
Yeah, I like
entertainment means you entertain me.
I get that perspective.
I understand,
but
though.
for me, I'm looking for something that is going to challenge me.
Yeah, I have 3 sons. I don't need any more challenge. I'm good to go.
Yeah, and I will say,
you know, and 3 sons that involves strategy, planning, maneuvering, deception, all kinds of stuff.
Deception. You're
yeah.
deceiving me.
Yeah. Every time you want something, like, oh, look over here, Aaron. Oh.
That is misdirection. That's not deception.
Well, you call it what you want.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of bears in Arizona, and my kids spent a lot of time looking for them.
Well, I don't remember that. So.
Or my favorite one was every time we cross over a state, you know, of course they were always hyper or whatever. I said, okay, look for the line, look for the line, look for the line. Oh, did you see it? No, missed it.
I'll never forget the day that I figured out that there was no state lines that they had drawn across the road.
Yeah, we were going down to Georgia for something, and I mean, he was looking hard, and then he looked at me, he goes, there are no state lines, are there, Mom? I was like, nope. He goes, that was really mean. Well, it kept you from being thrown out of the car a few times for you looking at it, so I think it served its purpose.
It definitely served a purpose, that's for sure. And I will say, when it comes to cards, Persia and Arabia definitely served their purpose whenever they established those different suits. But whenever it moved to Egypt, and by the 11th century, they were spreading through the Asian continent, and they came into Egypt. And the oldest surviving cards in the world are actually from Egypt. There are 4 fragments found in the Caire collection and 1 in the Benaki Museum. They are dated to the 12th and 13th centuries. They are a near complete pack of Mamluk playing cards dating to the 15th century and of similar appearance to the fragments discovered by Leo Arye Meyer in the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul in 1939. That's when they were discovered.
In 1939?
Mm-hmm. But they date back to the 12th and the 13th century.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're beautiful cards. And the cards back then, they were not very small. And what was interesting, too, is modern playing cards, and as we'll talk about later, cards later in the 15th and 16th century, they started getting the suits in the corners of the cards. But the older playing cards didn't have that. So, you know, whenever you pick up a deck of cards, you can hold the cards in a fan, and you can see what each of your cards is just by poking out the corner.
Right.
Well, you had to use 2 hands. You used to have to use 2 hands to hold your cards because there were no the suit or what the card was not in the corner. It was only in the center of the card. So all of the cards that were discovered from back then in the 12th and 13th century of the Mamluk playing cards, they were all these basically very tall, almost the size of brochure, like leaflets, and they had these really beautiful patterns on them, but what the card actually was just the center of the card. So to actually read the card and play the game, you would have to use 2 hands to hold them open.
Huh.
Yeah.
Keeps your hands busy then, eh?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But the one that was discovered in 1939, it's not a complete set. It's actually composed of 3 different packs. They probably used them to replace missing cards. The top copy pack originally contained 52 cards comprising of 4 suits. They had polo sticks, coins, swords, and cups. Each suit back then contained 10 pip cards, like we talked about before, and 3 court cards. So before all the pip cards would be the lower level cards, and then they would have the 3 court cards. So all modern decks, of course, they have 4 what they would call high cards because they made the 1 into an ace. So the ace is now a valuable or a high card. But before, it was one of the 10 pip cards, and only the 3 court cards were actually the highest of the.
Because now the ace can go either way. It's either the high card or it can be a 1.
It depends on what you're playing, but yeah.
Blackjack. I know blackjack.
Yes, in blackjack, that is correct.
See, my whole world is just limited by my experience.
Well, I think everyone's world is limited by their experience.
Well, true. Very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You bet.
Yeah. What I was talking about earlier with in Europe, though, is the earliest record of playing cards in Europe is believed by some researchers to be a ban on the card games in the city of Bern in 1367. Although the source is questionable, generally accepted as the first is the Florentinian ban dating back to 1377. Also appearing in 1377 was the treatise by John of Renfelden, in which he described playing cards and their moral meaning. And
moral meaning.
Yeah, he did not have nice things to say about them.
I bet he didn't.
No. Most people that lose at cards don't like saying nice things about them.
Probably don't. I can see where they might not like that.
Yeah, probably not.
Is that where the sore loser thing came in?
That's plausible. Plausible.
Maybe he was sore.
Although I would say that generally history is full of sore losers. Because
you're not wrong about that.
Well, history is written by the victors, and those almost every one of the, I guess, I would say counter historians or
counter historians. That's good. I like that. Counter historians.
Counter historians are.
That would be like the whiny people.
Yeah, are the whiners, are the ones that have lost, whose ideals are not pushed through, and so they want to rewrite history to align with their ideals.
Counter historians. Well, I like that. That's a good one. And their ideals do not align with reality. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people's ideals don't align with reality, but trying to change reality to conform to your ideals is, I would say, insane.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
See a lot of that these days.
Well, I agree. I think there is a considerable amount
of insanity.
Yes,
I would agree. Yeah.
Or a lack of realism. I once heard a pastor say, talking about Christians, he said, there are some Christians who I've met that are so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good. Basically saying that their heads in the clouds, they're constantly thinking about the spiritual, and so much to the point where they don't think about the real life that's in front of them, the present.
They're not living life.
They're not actually living the life that God gave them. And from a secular perspective, if you're constantly idealizing or looking at ideals and trying to promulgate them throughout your perspective on history, it's easy to misinterpret or rather reinterpret incorrectly.
That's true. Reinterpreting correctly would be a lot of it.
Yeah. History.
And leave out the parts you don't like.
Yeah, that's the big thing is looking at the whole picture. And I think that the argument can be made both ways, that if you're looking at the whole picture, you're going to see things about the victors who wrote history that are bad, which is absolutely true. No country got where it's at today without spilling blood.
It's true.
That's
sad, but it's true.
It's sad, but it's true. There's not a single culture or society or country
cultures
today.
And societies and stuff, whenever they banded together, they were all tribes at one point.
Right.
So, of course, there was blood and war and whatever, so this one would get bigger and that one would get bigger. And, I don't think that having lines drawn in the sand around the countries like we do nowadays, it was a little more fluid.
Yeah, that's plausible. And we'll get back to that, and we'll get back to some cards after the short break.
Hi, my name is Kaylin, and I'm the host of a new podcast called Tea Time Thoughts. Do you ever wish you could learn more about history, books, music, art, and culture, but you just don't know where to start? I totally feel your pain. Learning about all these things can be so overwhelming. Well, I want to change all of that for you. In my podcast, Tea Time Thoughts, I'll show you just how fun it all can be. In the time it takes to have a cup of tea, I'm going to teach you everything from the French Revolution to the Black Plague, Mozart to Broadway musicals, Da Vinci to Robert Frost, ancient Egypt to Queen Elizabeth II, and more. You can stream Tea Time Thoughts wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So what are you waiting for? Put the kettle on and listen to Tea Time Thoughts today.
Welcome back.
Welcome back
to Hip and Humble.
Absolutely.
I'm still Aram, and this is
Mom.
Of course, still. And if you are just tuning in from the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, sorry, I always have to look up. It's a lot of letters. We love the network. And I really do love their call sign, but I always have to look at it just to make sure I'm saying all the letters in the right order every time.
Well, Aram has issues.
I do. I have issues.
We just love them anyway. Sometimes you just have to love your kids.
That's
you may not understand, but you just love it and move on.
I'm a little hurt, but we're moving on.
That's okay.
Anyways, the Going Solo Network, guys, we are just so excited to have you here. Obviously, we're having a lot of fun, and we love sharing this with you, and we're just excited to have you here. And we thank you guys for sharing this with us. If you guys like what we're doing, I also want to shout out our other sponsor, Hip and Humble LLC. Please check out our Instagram page, hipn.humble. That's HIPN, humble on Instagram. Also our Patreon page. If you really like what we're doing and you want to see us continue, please think about becoming one of our Patreon subscribers. You will get all of our episodes first, and you will get all of the pictures that go along with it right there on Patreon. I post those.
Oh, we have pictures on there?
Yeah, we got pictures on there, and I like to put the Instagram pictures on the Patreon page before they're on Instagram. So if you subscribe and you support us that way, you get a sneak peek on everything.
That's true, and I actually sent Aram some really cute pictures today.
Oh, yeah.
From the booth. I went up and redid, refreshed, and moved stuff around. Mm-hmm. Sold a really awesome spittoon.
Yeah. Also, guys, we have our Etsy store. I didn't mention that in the first half, but Etsy store is where it's at. And also, things are going pretty quick on there nowadays. So if you see something, definitely consider getting it right away, because we're constantly changing stock. And if you don't see something that you like at the moment, I promise you will soon.
Yep. Stuff is always changing all the time. And like I've said before, too, if there's something that you have been wanting or looking for or searching, because I do that too. There's certain items that I am always searching for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what they are, because then you'll be searching for them too, and they'll be harder for me. But if there is stuff that you've been looking for or searching for, you cannot find it, feel free to say something. Say, hey, you know what? If you're out and about and you see whatever this item is, I want it.
Yeah, make sure and let us know. We're always out. We're always looking for new stuff, new stock to put in the stores. So if there's certain stuff that you guys are looking for, certain stuff that you guys like, please let us know.
Because I really do. I love the search.
Oh, yeah. Well, the hunt is half the fun.
The hunt is half the fun.
I would say like 75% of the fun.
At least 75 to 80.
Yeah.
The rest of it, the cleaning and tagging is not all that fun.
No.
Although I will say sometimes the cleaning it up and all that's kind of like a diamond in the rough.
Oh, I was just going to say that. It's kind of like uncovering a diamond.
It really, some of this stuff really is really pretty neat. So
well, because you see so many, it's so beautiful once you finally finish it, especially the refurbishing things that we've done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just even cleaning stuff sometimes. I know I pulled several things out of different barns and stuff in here. I mean, you would not believe what is on this stuff.
Oh, I know.
And after disinfecting quite a bit, it's like, holy crap, that is beautiful colors.
Right.
Look at there.
Well, that's the thing, too, is it's funny because, not to go on a tangent on this, but so many people have things they keep for so long, and it's like not many people, I won't say nobody, but not many people are very good at upkeep. Not very good at maintenance.
Sometimes, yeah, you have to care about your stuff. So, I mean, if you've inherited something from grandpa and it's your great, whatever, and it's not something you're interested in, chances are you're not going to upkeep.
You're not going to take care of it.
You're not going to take care of it.
And realistically, a lot of those pieces, especially the ones you inherit from multiple generations, those are some of the most beautiful pieces of furniture. And there's some of the most sturdy and the strongest pieces of furniture you'll ever find, because
they
furniture
are.
from back then, not only was the wood of a higher quality, but the craftsmanship was of a higher quality, because generally speaking, the manufacturing was still, there were still certain elements of the manufacturing back then that was by hand.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But a lot of that stuff does not fit today's generation's, aesthetics, I guess.
Yeah.
They're all about the quick stuff.
Well, the quick and the minimalistic.
Yep.
And we talked about that before, that the idea, I was reading an article actually that made an interesting case, saying that the minimalist style was almost a flaunting of wealth. Basically, the think piece suggested that the idea behind a minimalist style is that you can afford to go out and buy many things temporarily that you need in the moment, so you don't have to keep your house full of stuff.
But I will say, if you are a minimalist, I've been in different homes and stuff where they were semi-minimal. I can't say that thing. They were semi, but they would have one fantastic antique piece.
Oh yeah,
and it was just that was really the eye catcher, the centerpiece of the room. But it would be one great piece.
Right.
It wouldn't have 10 of them, just one beautiful piece.
Well, and that I can see, because
Absolutely.
you're accentuating and you're really making that piece the focal point of a room. I think that speaks volumes, because it almost gives that piece even more of a sense of pride.
Yeah, in history.
History.
It's a conversation piece, but also functional.
Right. Well, I think, if you go into different houses that have, large pieces of artwork and stuff like that, a lot of those are those conversation pieces, but I enjoy the furniture. I mean, obviously that's why we're doing this. Like, I enjoy the furniture and the older, smaller pieces as conversation pieces. I would say equally, if not more, than art pieces.
I love them both.
Yeah.
So I love art. I love oil paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's an ocean and a ship in it, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, both are beautiful.
Absolutely.
Both are very, very pretty. They really do have a place in today's world.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think,
and in your life, in your world.
Well, because realistically, all of us have been inside for so long, and whenever we finally get to start going into other people's houses and experiencing our friends, at a real distance, not through a screen, and so on and so forth, we've all been cooped up. We all don't know what we've been doing. Everybody's been, some people are virtual, some people have been going in, but they've had to wear masks, every day, like myself, and so going into everyone's houses, you want something to talk about, but realistically, everyone's been having the same experience. So talking about that same experience is going to get old real quick.
I know. There's only so many, like, my life sucks, my life.
Well, not only that, it's, I once heard a phrase, and we're going to get back to the topic here soon, I promise. But I once heard a phrase said that I really agreed with, that said, small people talk about other people. Larger people talk about things, and intelligent people talk about ideas. And I thought that was really good. And I think that if you're talking about ideas, especially in the perspective of material things through history, it really can widen your perspective, and it'll give you a very intimate
relationship with the furniture.
Well, not only with the furniture, but with the person that you're speaking with. Because I think building relationships is the goal whenever you invite people to your home.
Sure. And
so building those relationships to be intimate and to be informative, I think that makes more sense if you're trying to make friends, you're trying to be. But
that's also something that you can use to purchase your different antiques and things like that too.
Oh, for sure.
The more you know about history and the more you know kind of things to look for and whatnot, then when you go and purchase a piece of antique history, you kind of have a clue. You've already kind of got a relationship with it because you know where it came from. You know what was behind it.
Absolutely.
You know all of that stuff.
Well, and it really becomes a treasure at that point, too.
Well, it does.
Because the more you understand about that piece, the more value it adds to your life.
Right, right.
Speaking of antique pieces and things that have added value, we have our weird find of the week.
Oh, yeah. Our weird find of the week. We have them right now. They're at the downtown store in Fredericksburg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pair of that's a pair of mandolin. I can't talk tonight, folks. I'm sorry. My tongue's like, no, we're not doing that. But they're wedding ducks. They're Asian wedding ducks. Mm-hmm. Mandolin wedding ducks.
And we definitely plan that with the theme for sure.
Yeah. But they're really pretty neat. So they kind of are based on, they kind of look like, what do you call it? What's the American duck called? Oh,
mallard?
Yeah, well, quite. But the mandarin duck is kind of what they're based on, the Asian mandarin duck, which is a perching species found over in East Asia, which is kind of a loose relative of the North American wood duck. But the Asian duck, they're kind of special for them, and they will give them to couples getting married or, particularly couples getting married generally.
Well, wedding duck kind of gives that away.
Yeah, a little bit. But they symbolize long-lasting relationships and love. And these particular ducks, they mate for life. So they remain committed to each other their whole rest of their entire lives. So it's kind of just sweet and symbolic. But we have a pair of them there at the downtown Fredericksburg store. And I love them. I think they're really neat. And I like the story behind them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what kind of makes them fun. What are you doing exactly?
Just taking pictures.
Where are you taking pictures? He's like taking pictures of me while I'm trying to talk.
Well, yeah. Got to take the action shots.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I love these little ducks. So I actually had somebody come in and they only wanted to purchase one duck. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. They have to be together.
Yeah, because they mate for life.
I was like, they mate for life. So I told them the entire story, but they're like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm not selling you one duck. So I'll sell you 2 ducks, not 1 duck.
No.
But I think that's a really sweet.
I think it's not only is it a sweet sentiment, I think that, of all traditions, there's so many traditions nowadays that are being bashed because of the outdated symbolism, but that, I believe, is very pure.
I do. I think so. I mean, I think everybody, no matter your flavor of whatever, they want that long-lasting relationship. They want that total commitment for the rest of your life, and that's security.
I think most people crave that security and
Absolutely.
comfort in a partner.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you want that, and that's the way we were designed. Yeah. We were designed not to live alone. We were designed to be together and have those little kiddos and
to help each other.
Yep.
And to progress each other. I think that's, when I knew that I wanted to marry my wife, whenever I was around her, I wanted to be better.
Aww.
She made me feel like I wanted to be better, and I wanted to actually achieve my goals, not just for me, but for her, and to elevate not just my life, but the life I could have with her.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, my weird find for the week, or my fun find, or my sweet find, any way you want to look at it, my find for the week are my wonderful little wedding ducks.
Yeah. Well, I got talking about Catherine too, and I could go on for a while about about that.
About Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're all very happy. Catherine had a little accident last weekend.
Oh, that's right.
It scared us all to death, but she's okay.
She's fine, and her car is going to get fixed.
Yeah, she needs a new car, but she's resistant to that idea.
She is very not happy with the idea of getting a new vehicle.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes you just get comfortable with what you got. And, the idea of having to learn all the new buttons and your whole perspectives off when you drive a different car. And, that's something that you find exciting, but not everybody finds exciting.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I know you don't.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I respect her, and I'm happy that she's happy.
But we'll be getting her a new car next year.
Yes, next year she's getting a new car. So.
Do you know what? I bet if you played a game of cards and you won, then she'd have to get a new car.
That's a great idea.
Might.
Although she knows I beat her at pretty much every card game.
See, but that's what, I got to teach my son here. You let her win until the point, she wins so much that she's the better card player. And then you bet on something and you win.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Although, no, she won't hear this.
Catherine, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
We'll practice.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. I was talking to Catherine, not you.
Yeah, okay.
Girl power.
Yes, girls do have power.
Finally, hey, in my household, this is a big deal. I got a girl ally now.
You are always the most powerful one in this household.
I know, but you guys could still gang up on me.
I guess that's fair. But, the person that didn't gang up on someone was the Johanna, the Duchess of Brabant. And Wenceslaus the First, the Duke
Wenceslaus?
It's Wenceslaus.
Yeah, we're real sorry about that, if that's your name out there.
Well, it's not anyone anymore. He was.
I could have a descendant out there. We're very sorry.
It's very plausible.
It's very unfortunate.
I bet you their descendants are Winkles.
Winkles?
Yeah, that would make sense. That would, because most modern names or last names that come down the line from those larger, I guess more harder to pronounce last names in history, they're shortened. A lot of people that came over from Europe into the U.S., their last names were shortened. Like, actually, I went to high school with a girl whose family, whenever they came over on the boat, it was Gogolinsky. There was their last name, and it got shortened to Gogolin.
Yeah, my dad, he's a Scot.
Mm-hmm.
Last name was Scott.
Yeah.
Still Scott.
Not everyone, Mother. I'm talking about people with long last names.
Just saying.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
I'm a Scot.
But in the account books of these two people, I'm not refrain from saying the names again.
Wink.
We'll
just call him Wink.
There was an entry in these books dated on May 14th in 1379 by the Receiver General of the Brabant Reiner Hollander, and it read, "Given to Monsieur and Madame 4 Peters and 2 florins worth 8.5 sheep for the purchase of packs of cards." So basically,
that is a long sentence there.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, it was an accounting record of things that they had bought for the palace. So they bought a deck of cards for the palace, and it was worth 8.5 sheep.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah,
because I think that some virgins, they weren't worth 8.5 sheep. So.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I'm sure some virgins were not, depending on the culture. Well, also at this point, and they were in the 13th century, so
they might have had dowries.
I'm sure they still had dowries in some countries, but I think it was definitely on the decline.
Well, I don't know. 8.5 sheep, though. If you're paying 8.5 sheep for a deck of cards, I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that it was compared to the worth was compared to how much it would cost for 8.5 sheep, because the money was actually the 4 Peters and the 2 florins, because florins was the currency at that time.
Yeah.
But that was comparatively compared to.
But I mean, 8 sheep would have made you more money because the sheep will continually grow more wool.
Yeah.
Which can be sold.
Yeah. Although florins were gold, so it could be assumed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could purchase the 8.5 sheep for.
But see, the sheep would provide you the wool that will keep you warm, and then when they get old or whatever, you just kill it and eat it.
Yeah, maybe we should go back to sheep as currency.
Yeah, I guess maybe so.
Or at least as a measurement of currency.
Could be.
That'd be a great measurement for currency.
I wonder how many sheep you'd have to give to, buy a house now.
That's what I'm wondering.
Or a loaf of bread.
We'll have to look that up. I'll look that up and bring that back with us next week.
But that is pretty interesting that in their household goods that was still listed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that was important to them. So,
Well, not only is something that was important to them, but these were the first records of cards ever being purchased or kept.
Yeah.
In the world history. From about 1418 to 1415, they were professional card makers, and they were in Ulm, Nuremberg, and Augsburg. They created printed decks, and the playing cards even completed with devotional images. The most common uses for woodcuts in this period. So, woodcuts they would use to make poster boards and things like that, but obviously the most common was for playing cards. Are those like the print blocks? Yeah, the print blocks.
Yep.
So most early woodcuts.
So they would make a print block. If people don't know what a print block is, they would have like a piece of wood, and it would have an image raised on it. So they would carve out a negative image on it. So whenever you put the ink on it, the raised part would obviously print. So like a stamp.
Yeah, just like a stamp.
Just like a stamp. But they would, run it over. So they'd have the paper, and it would, kind of run over the block. So they could run a whole bunch at a time, like old newspapers.
Yeah. And what's funny, too, is, nowadays the woodcuts and also the printing presses, all of the print is colored before it goes on the page. But back then, the woodcuts of all types were colored after the printing. They were either colored by hand, or from about 1550 onwards, they were colored by stencils.
But just so you know, the print blocks are very collectible.
Oh, absolutely.
People collect those. They're very interesting. If you run across one, they're kind of interesting to look at.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're not all the same. I mean, obviously they're all different, but I mean they were all made a little bit different, and they are, I guess, made different, but they're also print differently. And it depends on which country and whatnot. But print blocks they're very collectible. And they're popular in some circles.
Very much so. And we will talk more about that next week.
Next week?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't make it through a whole lot of
we'll
stuff.
We'll finish talking about the history next week, and then we're going to talk about a really cool special thing within the world of cards.
Within the world of cards?
Correct.
Magic?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No. But anyways, we are going to talk more about that.
Maybe we should throw the dice and see.
Maybe we should.
Because I like dice.
Do you like dice?
I do like dice.
But guys, thanks so much for listening in. Sorry we didn't get through everything, but we kind of wanted to keep you on the edge of your seat.
That's right. Well, I'm going to keep you hanging.
Yeah.
So you come back later.
So you come back next week. And
cards are pretty cool, though.
Yeah, well, and they have such a colorful history.
They do. They really do.
Yeah. They got many suits.
Many suits.
And many faces.
Yes, many faces.
Goodness.
Many games.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, again, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for having fun with us. Well, at least I hope you're having as much fun as we're having. Although, I'm sure that's pretty hard.
That probably is.
Yeah.
It is. Because Aram and I, we have good time.
Yeah, we do.
We have fun time.
We do. We have fun time.
Yeah.
Well, we love you guys. Thank you guys. Stay hip.
And humble.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I'm Cece Schatz, and I'd like to welcome you to Going Solo Network, #1 complete singles connection. We strive to connect singles in a positive and fun way. Together, singles will begin to make new and lasting friendships, learn more about themselves, and embrace our new today lifestyle of going solo. Being single doesn't mean you have to be alone, and you can live a full, fun life, bringing your vibration to a higher level of attraction. Going Solo Network is an interactive social support singles community with several platforms helping singles connect with other like-minded individuals. We cover things like relationship loss, divorce recovery, embracing being single, single parenting, restructuring relationships, relationship building, transition into dating, and dating itself, solo in business, and going solo travelers. Be sure to join our private and exclusive fun interactive websites designed for singles today who want to begin to embrace living and enjoying the space they're in. Together we will learn to open our hearts, our minds. We will begin to share and connect with others while exploring our personal life goals as we begin to make a place in our new life. We will start to move forward in going solo to actually living our best lives. Going solo doesn't mean you have to be alone. Today, together, let's begin changing your life. Today, join the singles at Going Solo Network and start to live your new life. I'll see you there on GoingSoloNetwork.com.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.